Friends, welcome to the Mind and Intellect conversation. This is a series of podcasts on relationships. First podcast on relationship we are starting today with our very good friends and well-wishers, Ben and Summer. I've known them for quite some time now. Great individuals. Recently they got married. Both are entrepreneurs on their own accord, progressive and successful. And we're very happy to have Ben and Soumya, called Summer, in our podcast, Mind and Intellect Conversations, our first podcast on relationship series. Thank you for being here, Ben and Summer. So wonderful to have you.
Thank you, Sreedhi, to welcoming us.
Yes, it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. We can start with the questions, or why don't you say a few words about yourself?
So I'm born and raised in Dubai, and I met my husband in Dubai. We come from both different cultural backgrounds. Ben was born and raised in France. Being born and raised in Dubai, it was quite different growing up here. We saw the skyline taking the beautiful shape that it has today. And one thing both of us have in common, it's the values that we share. What we bring to the relationship as well. We both grew up with, I grew up with stricter values, being from a Muslim family. Ben himself as well, Muslim family, less strict values, but we both resonate in wisdom of togetherness, of keeping the family together, respect for elders. So these are the things that we share. And we came across Vedanta. It truly resonated with us. It touched our soul, and we felt that this is something that is speaking the language of our soul. It's quite universal, and it made a lot of sense, and we actually got addicted, and here we are.
So wonderful to have you, Summer.
Yeah, and the wisdom of Vedanta is universal. The wisdom is universal, but the wisdom of Vedanta is definitely really universal, with no borders, no religious borders, no culture borders.
Wonderful to have you both, and the right set of couple for relationships. So, I guess you have some questions, I'm told.
Yeah, definitely. So
we have a lot of questions for you.
Many questions. So, we're married since 1.5 years, and I'm super happy with this relationship.
Wonderful.
I'm really, really happy. And most of the people, my friends, people, especially men, are asking me, why do we need a relationship? What is a relationship, and what do we need it?
Right. And the fundamental question. In fact, not many think on those lines. It is we are, as human beings, we are social creatures. Now, they say that desire to love and desire to be loved is the fundamental need of anyone and everyone. So it is, as human beings, there is a certain sense of incompleteness felt within. There is a sense of unfulfillment. There is a vacuum in almost everyone. And that emptiness pushes your thoughts towards the world. And there is a understanding that the other person will fill in that emptiness, that void in us. And this emptiness is very specific in very many individuals. One is, there's a sense of companionship. You'll find they need a companion. Somebody to be with, or there is a sense of progeny, children. They want to have children, and for that you need a relationship. You may have children by just like that, but a child needs both parents.
Yes, absolutely.
So it is for children, and the third is a social stigma. Meaning, if you're not in a relationship or not married, there's always unnecessary attention. And the next one is emotional security.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is, a person could be very successful at work, and they have enough and more wealth with them, but when at the end of the day, when they go to their place, it could be a palatial house, but they may feel empty within. They need that emotional security. Somebody where it is when they go back home, there is somebody to relate with them genuinely. That emotional need is there. They need their emotions to be secured through an individual. And for some others, there is a physical intimacy. That's also a desire. No? So there are various forms of emptiness and individual experiences. So if anyone has this, you need a relationship. You may have a casual relationship, but you're never satisfied with it. So ideally,
Yeah, true.
either social stigma or companionship, emotional security. For some people, is financial security
Right.
and physical well-being, physical pleasures, or progeny, children. So some of them have all of these needs. Therefore, the need for a relationship happens. So that's the reason. And many of them, they don't really think and answer that. At times there is a companionship, at times there's a physical need, at times there's a emotional security.
Right.
So many in our life, at any stage, one precedes the other. But all these needs are there. And if these needs are there, it's better you fulfill it in the proper way rather than suppress it and frustrate yourself.
Absolutely.
Therefore, if you ask me, it's wonderful to have a relationship.
Absolutely.
Because you grow together. You supplement each other's growth. And at times when you're down, there's other person who lifts you up. When other person is down, and it's not just down, it is wonderful to celebrate the success and happiness with another person. And at the same time, when we go through a certain difficulty, you're able to, the other person understands it and is able to support you, lift you up from that. Till such time we reach what in the spiritual parlance they say, absolute self-sufficiency or a state of perfection. We are social creatures. We need that connection. So it's wonderful to have it. So if anybody consciously thinks about it, they are okay. Just like that, getting into it,
No.
then they find it difficult. They come out and they say, it's better to be by myself. That's
Right.
not the case.
You're talking about connection, but what is the role of mind and intellect in the relationships?
See, the mind and intellect plays a very vital role in a relationship. When I say, what is a mind? Mind is the source of your feelings, your emotions. Feelings like love, compassion, forgiveness, anger, jealousy, or various feelings, fear, or gratitude. All that is.
These are the feelings that dictate the relationship.
Well, I mean, they emanate from your mind. And intellect is your source of rationality,
Right.
reasoning, understanding, clarity, direction, right choices. That is see what happens when it comes to a relationship, most people go by what they like. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying you should choose a partner who you dislike. But at times what you like to do may not be what you ought to do. What you ought to do is decided by the intellect.
Right.
What you like to do is decided by the mind.
Mind.
So many a times when a person makes a choice based on the mind alone, later on their mind changes.
Absolutely.
Other person's mind changes.
Changes.
Now they're stuck. What is this? This is not what I wanted in a relationship.
No.
But
And they grow apart.
that's it. Now,
Yeah.
now they grow apart. Not only this is not the person I met.
Yeah. You're not the
He's-
same person I thought you
Oh
were.
no, you're not the person who I met 1 year ago, 2 years ago. You have changed. There's a statement that people change and forget to tell you that they have changed.
Right.
So merely on the mind, you could be in trouble. And intellect is where that's when there's rationality. There is what I call compatibility of values.
Right.
There is this, each one has that feminine and masculine aspect in us.
aspect.
Each one of us. A person who is predominantly masculine should align with a feminine person. A person who is very feminine should need a masculine support. Then they complement each other.
Absolutely.
So otherwise, two masculine individuals,
No.
ego.
Ego comes in, arrogance,
And two feminine individuals, they
very-
become too possessive,
and sensitive also.
sensitive, and
Yeah.
then lead to
Insecure.
trouble, insecure. All
Absolutely.
that happens. So the role of mind and intellect is very predominant. That's why I say you should get into a relationship based on some attraction,
Absolutely.
some liking. But that alone will not
Will not-
survive a relationship.
Speaking-
The intellect comes in, whereby it takes it further in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, growing up, and I'm sure a lot of sisters who share the same background as me can relate. Well, growing up, our mothers always sent us to an all-girls
Correct.
school. You're not allowed to talk to boys. And then suddenly you're expected to marry a stranger.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for not only myself, but also my friends who are from the other parts of the world, in Europe and UK, how do we get into a relationship? Now things are more progressive, they're more modern. People are okay in meeting, dating, and they're talking, getting to know each other.
Right.
So what do you think, like, in people from different cultural backgrounds, from Vedanta, from the wisdom side of
Right.
it, how do we get into this a
Right.
relationship?
Right. Excellent question. In fact, let me highlight how people get into a relationship in the wrong way.
Okay.
And then let's understand how to get it in the right way.
Right.
See, most people misunderstand this phenomenal word called love. The most misunderstood word in the world for generations is love. Let me give some clarity, because most people, when I say misunderstand, whatever you like, you say you love it. See, you like listening to music, you like playing golf, or in your case, you like scuba diving. Huh?
I love
And
scuba diving.
You love scuba diving. Correct. You like scuba diving. So what do you say? When you function on the way, I love scuba diving. You like riding a Harley Davidson. I love zipping around in a Harley Davidson. Whatever we like, we started using the word love. And whatever you dislike, I dislike waking up in the morning. I don't like, what do you call it? Classical music. See, whatever we dislike, or I don't like salads. Whatever we dislike has become hatred. I hate waking up in the mornings. I hate long flights.
Right.
So whatever you like has become what you love. Whatever you dislike has become what you hate. Now, having understood that, it has this thought process functioning on the mind has infiltrated into our life completely. We are choosing partners based on merely a like.
Right.
I remember one person mentioned that she was in a restaurant. On the other side, she could hear somebody talking, and his voice was so magnetic. It was like I don't know, Tom Cruise voice, or he said a very attractive voice, and based on a like, she got into it. And now I can't stand his voice.
Oh.
See, all that I'm saying is, having got into a relationship based on a like.
But what's your thoughts on this? Like, for us, what we did, we separately, before I met him, I had boxes that my
right.
future husband has to tick these boxes.
Yes.
And he had the same, surprisingly. He followed Amy Webb, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It's a podcast.
Yeah, on air.
Okay.
And it was
It's
about
not a podcast, actually. It's a
it's a
TEDx.
TEDx talk
On
relationship, not relationship, sorry, on how to choose the
Right.
right partner. So you have your boxes based
Right.
on your criteria. They tick all your boxes.
Right.
Then what do you think
See,
about
everyone has that thought process, the boxes.
Yes.
And nothing wrong.
Right.
See, because those are, at that point of time, that's your predominant need or requirement. It's okay, but are these boxes sustainable values?
That's the $1 million question.
That's what, this is where I'm saying, see, if you guys are happy together,
Right.
there is compatibility of values.
Right.
I'm not just talking about your cultural background.
Yes.
As human beings, there are certain values which match.
Yes.
And then you take it further.
With us,
Yeah,
with
but-
us, it was more of a choice.
Choice.
Like we had to choose, either we give up or we work on
See,
this.
I met him. He said, I fell head over heels for summer. I met her in summer, and it has become an eternal summer. That's what he mentioned. It's a head over heels summer.
Right. But Sreedha, I want to ask another question about
Right.
how can relationship be progressive and not stagnant? I think that's what we are doing now. We are focusing on being progressive together. We celebrate
Right.
each other's success. We
Right.
work towards, we evolve spiritually as well together.
Right.
So
And we start new things.
Yes, exactly.
We just started scuba diving, and she's my teacher. So, yes.
I threaten him, I'll turn off your air tank if you don't behave.
So yeah, how to make it progressive,
Progressive, excellent.
or and how a relationship can become stagnant.
Yeah.
The main aspect, let's say, there are two types of relationship, as you mentioned. One is progressive relationship. In fact, if you ask me, there must be only one type of relationship, progressive. Why would we need a stagnant relationship?
Absolutely.
Who looks forward to a stagnant relationship? Relationships should be progressive.
Yeah, no, but some people can confuse it with stability.
Yes.
Stabilize a
Correct.
relationship.
And there are dangers to be stagnant relationships.
It is very dangerous. So, when I say progressive relationship, there are a few criteria. The fundamental requirement in a partner is unselfishness. When I say unselfishness, selfishness is what? In fact, when you're by yourself or when you're finding it difficult in being in relationships, you're actually being selfish. Me and myself predominates over everything else. Therefore, how long can another person tolerate it?
Right.
You can't. So either the other person leaves or you find it difficult. So the fundamental requirement in a relationship which is progressive, the person should be unselfish, the potential to accommodate others' interest. It is not a compromise. You genuinely, joyfully accommodate others' interest. Number one. And second is, you're willing to put in effort.
Yes, this is important.
Quite a few people,
Your willingness to put in effort.
the effort stops when they get the partner. Till such time, a lot of effort. You dress up well, you speak well. Now that she is mine,
And this
Yeah, you
effort-
stop dating or you stop doing
you stop not only dating,
Yeah.
it is you take it for granted.
exactly.
And this effort can be sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry?
And this effort
Ah.
can be sweet, actually.
It should be pleasurable, joyful. It is like, that's it. It could be as simple as offering a glass of water.
With us, like we were so engrossed in our work and we realized, we don't have time for each other. We actually made the time to go for a nice dinner, to spend time with each other. So absolutely
Correct.
right, the effort shouldn't
See,
stop.
one is, where there is unselfishness,
Right.
you understand. She's there. We are sharing our lives together. And being selfish doesn't help. Me for myself, she for herself, how can it work? Unselfishness is there is a common goal. There's a common ideal.
Yeah, and it could be also common work.
Correct.
We spend a lot of time at work, so sometimes working together on a project, on a business can strengthen the couple and make this...
it is ideally. Or even if you are independent working, you understand he needs time or she needs support. So one is unselfishness. Second is consistent effort. Consistent effort. You can't drop it. And the effort is different at every stage in your life.
Right.
Initially, it could be, and it changes. The effort, but the consistent effort must be there. That's when you move from selfishness to unselfishness to selflessness. No ego.
No ego.
See, the third aspect is, number one is unselfishness. Number two is consistent effort. Number three, do not allow, two individuals in a progressive relationship do not allow their ego to interfere.
Exactly. We've reached that stage.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
That's-
It took a while.
1.5 years, you have reached that state of less ego, no ego. It's a phenomenal state. One deterrent or a destroyer of a relationship is ego.
Absolutely agree.
Now, there's a statement, when
100%.
ego comes, everything else
Everything
goes.
else goes.
When ego goes, everything else comes.
True.
So, in that way, I would say ego, handling ego well. Then, with all these things comes this beautiful attitude of sharing, caring, and giving. When there is unselfishness, when there is consistent effort, when there is less ego. See, I wouldn't say no ego at all, but ego should be there in the form of self-esteem,
Right.
not self-importance.
Yes, self-esteem.
I need to go for Thai restaurant only today. It's not, I'm just saying, no, it is self-esteem, not self-importance. And when these things are there, then that attitude of sharing, caring, giving. I'm not talking about money. It could be time, it could be effort, it could be conversation, it could be listening. So sharing, caring, giving becomes predominant. In fact, I wish couples compete with each other on this. You may want to give, the other person refuses to take. Other person wants to give, you refuse to take. That'll be, imagine, I want to give her, but she doesn't want to take. The kind of a respect it builds in that other person's mind is phenomenal. Otherwise, it's not all the time, taking. The relationship fades away or dwindles when the attitude is taking, aggrandizing.
It drains your energy.
Drains your energy all the
Absolutely.
time. What can I get out of that person?
Yes.
So when you have all these right qualities, sharing, caring, giving becomes the right ways, and then the next, we're talking progressive relationships. Your expectations are well managed. I mean, not all the time your expectations are met. Not all your expectations cannot be unfulfilled, but you are able to manage your expectations well. Therefore, there's no friction in a relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if there is a little mishap, you're able to rectify it fast. You don't dwell on that suffering.
Yeah.
So,
I think we reached that stage when we rectified fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he highlights, we're getting into the danger zone, so that's his trigger warning.
correct. That's why the relationship are meant to be progressive. Meant to be progressive. Otherwise, why? Our life is progressive. Nobody stays 12 years or 16 years all their life. It is
So what is a stagnant relationship, and what are the dangers of a stagnant relationship?
I think this is $1 million question.
Yes, it's a $1 billion question.
Yes.
The stagnant relationship. See, how does a relationship stagnate? Number one, when a person turns selfish. Me for myself, what I can get out of this. So what happens? The next stage is you stop putting in effort.
Don't you think there's no love involved then?
That's what I'm saying.
Selfishness.
There is no. It is wherever there's selfishness, it is a lack of love.
Love, yeah.
It is wherever there is unselfishness, there is affection, concern,
caring,
compassion, love, forgiveness, gratitude. All that is there.
Right.
With unselfishness, it happens. Relationships stagnate. One of the fundamental reason they take each other for granted. Oh, she's there, or he's there. Once you take another person for granted, where is the question of putting in effort? I'm giving you a nice standard of living, right? Every few months we go for a holiday, you drive a nice Tesla car, now we have this wonderful villa. What else you want?
Yeah, absolutely. What more?
What more? What are you demanding?
Yeah.
No, or in fact,
It's very common here.
Huh?
It's very common here. People say, "I'm providing you with a house, car, shopping lifestyle. What more?
What more you want?
Like
It's a very materialistic aspect of a relationship.
Yeah. See, you take it for granted.
Yeah.
I've given. What is your problem?
Yeah.
But they need their attention.
Yeah.
They need somebody to listen to them.
You need emotional connection also.
That's why there is a lack of emotional security in that relationship. So such relationships stagnate. And that's why there is a lack of, why it stagnates. Number one, you take it for granted. I'm doing this, right? What else you need? And the other person doesn't even bother to think, look here, she has emotions or he has needs.
Right.
No, we are here together.
Yeah, they're human beings.
Yeah, we have emotions, we have
It's a
certain
basic need, human need.
So that has to, this is the right way of being sensitive in a relationship.
A relationship, absolutely.
So attention.
Attention in the right way. Hey, I think you need a couple of days off. The nannies are there. They'll take care of the kids. Let's go for a short holiday and come. And it is the way she will, or he or she will feel.
Right.
Acknowledging emotion.
Acknowledging the emotion, valuing their presence.
Shiriji, can you blame a person who's working so hard to provide their family and they really just want a peace of mind? I mean, for a person like that, how do they bring in happiness into the relationship? You can't blame them also, because
Correct.
world lifestyle, it like sucks out their energy.
Correct.
And this is like overtime working
Yes.
in a way.
Yes. See,
So how to bring happiness
how do you bring
in a
happiness in a
relationship?
relationship?
see, this is where, when I say we can bring in happiness in a relationship, provided what we call as accountability and responsibility.
Discipline also?
That is an active discipline. See, when I say, how do you bring in happiness? Few aspects. See, when I become accountable to myself and when I become responsible to my partner
Absolutely.
and my children, then I'm thinking in lines of how I can do better for them. It is what makes you more happier. In fact, what makes you happier is what makes me happier. If that thought process comes in, if they see their partner happy, when they see their children happy, that makes them happy. My mother, whenever she goes for there is a parent and a child relationship saying, when she goes for a wedding, there's a meal and there is this badam halwa.
I love badam halwa.
Badam halwa. Then it comes in a packet.
Yeah.
They serve it. She will take that and put it in her bag. And when she comes home and says, I've got this for you. And when she
language of love.
When she sees me having it, say, thank you, mommy. She's so happy. What makes other person happy? In fact, this is where unselfishness. What makes another person happy makes you more happier. She loves badam halwa, the almond halwa.
Right.
But for her, more happiness when she sees her son consuming it, rather
enjoying
than
it.
herself consuming it. She didn't say, look here, this is mine. So, how do you bring happiness? You create more happiness for others.
Right.
Your partner, your children, your parents.
I think both partners should understand the language of love.
Correct.
Some people are not going to show off their wife
Correct.
on Instagram, for example. They'd
Correct.
rather be more private.
See, this is one.
Yeah.
Bringing in, how can I make my partner, my children more happier? It's not by pampering them with gifts and other things.
Absolutely.
It could be listening to the partner. It could be playing with your children. You're there for certain aspects. Then, other ways of bringing sustained happiness is, as a partner, you function on your duties and responsibilities. What is my duty to my partner? What is my responsibilities to my children? So the duties, see, you don't function on rights.
Right.
Any relationship which functions on rights falters. It's like, this is my right. The right side of my cupboard is mine. That's my right. We always find those who function on the rights rather than on duties.
Right.
As a parent, what is my duty to my children? This is my duty. As a
family comes first.
Family, what is my duty to my partner? Rather than rights. All the time, this is my right. This is my right. When there is rights, when you demand your right, I'm not saying you should not, but all the time on your this is my right, then you lose a very important thing called the emotional connection.
So switching from a right mindset to duty mindset,
yes,
may help.
It works immensely.
Oh, okay.
It is my duty. As a parent, as a spouse, as a social citizen, as an entrepreneur, what is my duty? In fact, if that thought process comes in, these are my duties to my partner. It is see, let's say, what are when you function on the duties, as we are talking about, relationship, how do you bring in happiness in a relationship?
Right.
This is when you develop this beautiful thing called trust. Trust. Where
trust.
Sorry?
You trust in the person, you trust in your relationship,
the
in
question
your couple.
is,
yes.
How do we develop trust? How does one become trustworthy?
Right.
I mean, it's
and
again,
it's hard for people who've been through trauma, for example.
Yes.
It's hard for them to trust because they've been through
You're right.
trauma.
See, if you don't trust, also is a problem.
Exactly.
And if your
then
trust
you're
has been
stagnant.
broken by someone, also if you are betrayed, also is a problem.
Yeah.
It is. That's why see, more than others, how can I become trustworthy? That's the question we need to ask ourselves.
There's one thing you said, which we follow it religiously. You said, never leave any avenue of doubt.
Right.
So in our case, he has access to my social media, password, my iPhone unlocked with his face, and I have the same.
Right.
Every time each other, when we feel there's something, we just take the phone, we check whatever, and we satisfy our...
Absolutely.
There's zero avenue of doubt.
It is a very good tip that you provided
I have
to us
nothing
at
to
the
hide.
beginning.
He has nothing to hide. It's like open...
Trust.
Transparency.
Transparent. That's why with trust comes transparency.
Absolutely.
And do you have other practical tips like that for improving relationships?
That's in this aspect, I thought we will delve a little deeper into this.
The trust.
How do we develop trust?
Exactly.
To become a trustworthy person, what you think is what you say, and what you say is what you do. I repeat, your thoughts, your words, and your actions are completely aligned. There is no discrepancy here. What you think is what you speak. What you speak is what you do, and you do it consistently, and that develops trust.
Right.
If he tells me he's there at 10:30, it's 10:30.
Absolutely.
If he says, at times may falter,
Yeah.
but the trust. With trust comes transparency. See, one is everyone knows they know each other passwords. That is the gross level of transparency. The higher level of transparency is there's nothing to hide.
Yes.
There's nothing to avoid. And when there's nothing to hide and nothing to avoid, you're transparent. You may go through a tough day and you're quiet, and the other person understands you're going through a tough day, and then they give you the space, and after a while.
There's another thing I would like to highlight to all my sisters and brothers out there. When the trust regarding, if there's something that you need to do in terms of your work, it's a meeting, it's important, very important. You're going to get let's say, $100 million deal, and
right.
This is going to change things for you.
Right.
If your partner is not happy with that meeting, don't do it.
Correct.
That's also another trust.
See,
it's like you're not trying
I agree. See, shouldn't the partner be happy? Joyful? That it's a important incident or an achievement in your life.
I agree, but it's better. Like in
Correct.
situations like this, I take my husband with me.
Yes,
come with
absolutely.
me, and we've had meetings like that.
Absolutely. They should be a part of your success. Collective. See, in fact, they should be happy for your success.
Exactly.
That this is where there is no ego.
Exactly.
And to say that my wife is way better than me in certain things.
Definitely, she's way better than me
in many things.
There
are. Even for argument, nobody argues like my wife. I'm just saying that. See, this is a relationship where I want to be there when you're signing this contract. I'm so happy and proud. And so that's essential. Imagine that creates insecurity in other person.
Right.
You're more successful than me. That's the beginning. That's a stagnant relationship. Which dwindles.
Yes.
So that's why trust creates transparency, and transparency creates respect.
Right. Absolutely.
When I say respect, you value other person's thoughts, ideas, opinions, emotions. You respect. Now, we're talking about how you bring happiness further. Where there is trust, transparency, and respect, there is faith.
Absolutely.
Faith meaning she is there.
Yeah, it's a healthy mindset.
Yes.
You need that faith.
Exactly. And if you don't think of yourself as yourself, think of yourself as a couple.
Correct. That's that faith that she is there and he is there. And the faith is we are there together.
We are there together, yeah.
Sometimes we may go through difficult times, but the faith is I'm not fighting it alone.
Yes.
And I have this partner
You're not alone. Your worries are my worries.
Correct, sir.
Your success is my success.
My success.
Yes.
That faith.
Yes.
Faith does wonders. They say faith moves mountains.
Faith is how the world is going.
Faith moves mountains. It is so trust creates transparency. Transparency creates respect. Respect manifests as faith. And where there is faith, there is genuine love. Where the expressions are less, but the emotions are very pure. Whenever this kind of love sustains, progresses, makes you even more happier. I repeat, we started with trust, transparency, respect, faith, leading to love. This kind of love is the feeling of oneness is complete. That you are one with that person, you identify with that person. Other person appears a natural extension of you.
Exactly.
They don't need to tell you anything, you understand it.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if they made a mistake, I just want to tell you, I get it. It's okay.
You look at couples who've been married for 35 years, they have all of these.
Right. See, when this kind of a love is there, you feel like as if you're in your mother's womb.
Yeah.
So safe and secure and protected. And imagine if this kind of a love
Wholesome feeling.
It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
Would you be thinking of someone else?
No.
I mean, where is that?
What you have is very rare compared to what other people.
The quality of relationship is so high and so pure and so spiritual in nature. It elevates you. You rise above your attachment.
Exactly.
You rise above attachment,
Yes.
and
You rise above desires even.
this kind of a love creates what we call as gratitude. You're so grateful for that experience, for that partner. And when they are there, you celebrate their presence and the relationship. God forbid when they are not there, they have given such fond memories,
Yeah.
such profound experiences.
Such an impact in your life.
Impact in your life. It is you're not searching for someone else.
No.
You're not needing someone else.
Yeah.
That person and yourself together fulfilled each other. Fulfilled each other. They may not be there, but that sense of thankfulness and gratitude is.
And it's important to express gratitude.
Yes. Can you imagine? If it is not there, I mean, if this is not there, what a loss to the individual.
Right.
You have the potential to experience the greatest happiness through a relationships, and you faltered with immediate pleasures.
Yeah. Ruined everything.
You fell for
Yes.
instant gratification. You fell for looks and other aspects which fades away over a period of time. And forever, such people are never. In
Never
fact,
have.
not only they are miserable. They can only have instant pleasure. They cannot have sustained happiness. They will stick to pleasures, and all their life they're searching for it.
Yeah, instant gratification all their life.
And they're not happy because that selfishness destroys them. So
And they need excitements like this to pass their time.
Correct.
But they're not wholesome at the end.
wholesome, and it's not going to help. And they're still miserable. Yes, they're still miserable. They can post on social media, I had a great time.
Yeah, opposite. Completely opposite.
And it is so, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And as human beings, you have the potential to experience bliss, solitude, aloneness, inner relationship. When I say, you have that potential. It is, where, I'd say that love, your love for the other person, your partner, is not dependent on their love for you.
Yeah.
You love them independent of their love. And they are loving. Your love is not dependent on anybody.
There's something I'd like to share,
Yeah.
Shriji. I think it's relevant to what we're talking about.
Right.
In our religion, they teach us that God created Adam, God created
Right.
Hawa. So Adam, when he was created, he spent 1.5 years in Jannah, which is heaven.
Heaven.
And he was lonely in
Right.
a place like heaven. Can you imagine? Then Allah created Hawa for him to accompany him. So you
Right.
can imagine man himself in heaven felt lonely with all the beauty and everything that was available to him.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is that kind of heaven is a place on earth.
Earth. You create your heaven.
We create.
Exactly.
In fact, John Milton in his epic Paradise Lost makes a beautiful statement. He says, your mind in its own place can make a hell out of a heaven or a heaven out of a hell. Your mind in its own place can make a hell out of a heaven or a heaven out of a hell. It's all in your mind. And Arthur Schopenhauer, a great German philosopher, made a beautiful statement. He said, it is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. He doesn't say it's easy.
Yeah.
He says it's difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. All these extroverted, all these people who are looking for short-term pleasures, instant gratification, they're looking for pleasures externally, they're looking for happiness externally. They can try all their life, they're not going to find it.
Right.
They're not going to find it. Therefore, work on yourself, and if you can improve yourself. There are great messages in the Indian scripture. They say you have to lift yourself by yourself. You are your greatest friend and your worst enemy.
Worst enemy.
You got to lift yourself by yourself. And you are your greatest friend and your worst enemy.
Yeah.
And if you are a worst enemy, you're going to destroy yourself and others in the process. If you're the best friend to yourself, you raise yourself, and when you have children, what an example you can set.
Yeah.
What an example. I had parents, great parents. I've never seen them argue. I mean, it's not that when my mother shouts and my father is smiling, quiet. When my father is in a tough mood, my mother is patient. As an example, what an example they were. What an example. I mean, that's why I said, if you can, both are progressive partners, you evolve independently as individuals and partners, and you set a great example for your children.
Absolutely.
For your children. And isn't it essential?
Yeah.
Isn't it essential for you? See, both you are benefited in the process, you have set an example, and they will learn from it.
Right.
That's why it is essential that we progress well.
Yes, we agree. Yeah. Any tips?
Any tips?
For us as a newly married couple and all the people out there?
Right. See, I read this statement. Marriage is a work in progress with a lifetime contract. Is a work in progress. Nobody has arrived yet.
Right.
Nobody has gained that ultimate aspect. Marriage is a work in progress with a lifetime contract. If you break the contract, again you've got to start. Number one. Number two, you can come out of a relationship, but you're carrying the same mind into the next relationship. Nothing about you has changed. If the previous one worked for 3 years or 5 years, next one worked for 1.5 years. Because I have not improved myself. I'm carrying the same mind. Nothing about myself has evolved. So, marriage is a work in progress with a lifetime contract. Number two, you're carrying the same mind everywhere. You may come out of a relationship. Only the partner has changed. My mind is the same. Quality of the mind is the same. And Khalil Gibran says, marriage is a temple resting on 2 pillars. If the pillars come too close, the temple collapses.
Yeah.
There has to be a certain sense of detached attachment.
Yeah.
Detached attachment. You got to be attached, but a certain sense of detachment.
Yeah.
He says, he equates it to a place of worship. He says, marriage is a temple resting on 2 pillars. If the pillars come too close, the temple collapses. He equates it to a sacred institution.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And finally, I would say, happily get along or peacefully get away. Happily get along. Why can't we get along happily? Or peacefully get away? Don't get along in a frustrated manner.
Yeah.
Or don't come out in an agitated way, miserable way.
Yeah.
Happily get along. In fact, I will leave it at that. Happily get along. Because let's not give that other version. Peacefully get away in case things are difficult.
Right.
But
happily get away.
Happily, and the last one, in fact, both in a relationship, both have to put in effort.
Right.
You don't have a choice.
This is very important.
If you're not putting in effort, do not get into a relationship.
Yeah.
If you're selfish, self-centered, me and myself,
you will always be
just
alone.
mind your business. Don't trouble others.
Yes.
No, because you're gonna torture others and you're gonna be miserable.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, those people are not happy at all.
Yeah.
You find that they're actually miserable. So some tips is you got to put in consistent effort. So you see it in business, you see in your physical health.
Yes.
Every aspect, consistent effort. Happily get along. Happily get along. The heaven is a place on earth if you work on yourself.
Absolutely.
And the way you look at your partner should keep changing all the time. The changing, she means more to me, much more. And so every other aspect, then you are evolving. You're evolving individuals. Now, I remember going for this gentleman invited me for a coffee, and they've been married for, as you mentioned, over 30, 35 years. And it was like 5 o'clock in the evening. And when we were sitting there, and he said, he turned around, and then his wife was getting tea, the pot of tea, and in a plate and biscuits. And he had such a smile. He had such a smile in his face. I just wanted to tell you, I'm so happy you got it. And she's smiling and says, I've known you for such a long time. I know this time.
This time you want your tea.
So no prompting.
Beautiful.
And he was so happy.
Yeah.
And then the smile on his face that somebody genuinely acknowledges.
Yeah.
Not because, 5 o'clock, I need to offer him a tea. No.
Yeah.
No, she's
genuinely,
genuinely offering tea. Yeah. And I looked at it so wonderful. And it is, see, that progressive relationship, it's beyond looks. In looks and attractiveness, initial stage. In fact, this is attractiveness at that stage.
Yeah. This
it's
is
so
a
attractive.
different form of attractiveness.
This is so attractive and having a pleasant conversation. So all that I'm saying is give a chance to relationships. Yes. Don't falter. When you need it, work on it, improve on it, and there'll be a stage where nothing but happiness. And you will set a great example. And let there be more people who are happier, which is the other way around now. Divorces are high because they're not working on themselves.
They're not working on themselves.
It is let there be more happiness, joy. And let there be many more examples where they say, hey, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
I would wish to be like that, where I want to be like them. In spite of all that, how well they have coped with each other, supported each other. So that we need more examples like that, not where the divorces are over 70% in certain countries. So let's be that 30% who works on themselves and improve it in such a way. Relationship,
successful in their relationship.
Yeah, relationship is something is joyful, and the world needs happy people.
Exactly.
World needs happy families.
Right.
Isn't it right? And if the parents, the husband, wife are happy and they are happy parents, children are possibly happy. A family which is happy, a country can be happy. When a country is happy, there's peace in the world. And where there's peace in the world, there's progress and prosperity. And nature also will be well protected. So in the interest of the world, let us be progressive partners.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. This is amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful.